So a lot of single home buyers, when they are deciding to buy a home, they are not sure whether this next home is still able to fit their needs and their options 5 to 10 years down the road. For singles, mobility, flexibility, and options is what we need and what we have. Who knows, we might find a partner down the road and we might want to expand our family. Number two, we might want to relocate, we might want to take a sabbatical overseas. What happens to the home? Can I rent it out? Does the value still appreciate while I'm away from Singapore? You could be taking care of an aging parent and you might want to have plans to bring your parents to live with you. Is the home sufficient and yet still have the privacy in place? So in this episode, I'm going to share with you what are the factors to look out for so that this home is able to afford you as many options as possible regardless of your decisions. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm Zoe. I'm a real estate consultant and strategist, and I've helped 80 plus families to plan and strategize their property portfolio. Now, to own a home that is able to still work for you in 5 to 10 years down the road, it is important to look at homes that are, number one, giving you as high an appreciation as possible so that you can then recycle the funds to buy something bigger should you choose to, or to give you options to liquidate, buy something smaller, fully paid up, with the rest in fixed deposit, safer investment tools, and then the rest for lifestyle. Number two, you also want to make sure that it gives you good yield so that if you want to rent it out, the rental is able to cover as much as possible the mortgage. So number one, we look at the size of the unit type. If I were to take a look at some of what the data is showing us, we have a private condo here that is in outside of Central Region, and I'm going to compare 400 to 800 square feet sort of homes versus the 900 to 1,100 odd square feet sort of home to see what is the growth and what is their gain. Now you can see for the 400 to 800 square feet homes, for similar holding period, their annualized gains is about 4 to 5%, with a maximum profit about 519,000. Then of course, if you look at the 900 to 1,100 square feet, the larger layout types, the annualized gains is about 5 to 6% for similar holding period. Now you can also see this in the rest of Central Region. Let's take a look at this private condo. Again, using the same sizes to compare, the 400 to 800 square feet homes, the annualized gains is about 3 to 4%, whereas the 900 to 1,001 odd square feet layout types, the annualized gains is about 5 to 6%. Now, why is that so? So if today you are a buyer, you eventually will be selling your home, we will need to think about what our future buyers will see our home. So now, generally speaking, who goes for the larger layout types? Does that then explain why is it that the larger layout types are experiencing better yield, better annualized gains? The larger layout types will cater to family profile. Now, family profile being dual income, they will have wider budget. Number two, for their family needs, for their kids to be near the school, they will be more willing to stretch their budget. For example, if they need a helper's room, they will of course stretch their budget. So generally speaking, having larger layout types, you cater to future buyers who are more willing to stretch their budget. And that explains why the appreciation for larger unit types tend to be higher than the smaller unit types. So the next one is project size. Let's take a look at these two projects. One is freehold with 20 plus odd units and one is 99-year with 700 plus units. They are close to each other and of equidistance to the same MRT. So we are looking at the same location attributes. So you can see that the freehold with 20 plus odd units, the maximum profit is 950k after holding for 30 years. That's about 3% annualized gains. Whereas if you look at the 99-year 700 plus units, the maximum profit is about 1.8 million after holding for 20 odd years. And annualized gains is double that of the freehold, 6%. They are in the same location. How come the 99-year is performing better? Now, it all boils back down to how the bank values a property. Because essentially, when buyers buy your unit in future, they will get a valuation from the bank. Because that's where they take a loan from. And so the bank value plays an important part. Now, how does bank value your unit? They will look at transacted PSF or transacted price. And of course, we know that if the last transacted was just last week, they are very relevant to, number one, what is transacted in the property. Number two, the more units there are in a project, there is going to be more buying and selling activity. Sellers will always be trying to sell their property higher than the last done in a project. So if I have a lot of sellers selling within the project itself, then the sellers will keep trying to challenge a higher price. That's how it keeps the value going up. So when a bank takes a value of the unit in this project itself, they see that there is a high benchmark sort of PSF that's been done, they will then peg that unit to the last done. Now let's take a look at what happens if it's just a project size of, let's say, 20 odd units. Number one, with 20 plus units, you know that the buying and selling is not going to be frequent. Perhaps the last sold was like maybe 6 months ago or even 1.5 years ago. Say for example, you have a unit within this 20 plus odd project size. When the buyers take a loan from the bank, the valuation of the home is determined based on the last done. So if the last done was a fire sale, it's going to affect your unit a lot, because there's the last done they can take reference from. Even though you have two projects side by side, 199 year, 700 plus odd units, one freehold with 20 plus units, the bank valuation is just for the project itself. It is not taking reference from the projects in the area. Now, the third thing that we look at would be the layout type. Let's take a look at this particular data itself. This is a project that is in the outside of core central region. It is freehold. Now, level 1 is the ground floor, level 10 is their penthouse. So typically level 1 and level 10, they would have more roof terrace, more open spaces. And then you have those on the middle floor. That's of a typical layout type. Now what you can see is the level 1 and level 10, number 1, has fewer transaction activity, and their PSF hovers around 1000 to 1001 odd PSF. Whereas for the mid-floor levels, or the floors in between 2nd to the 9th floor, their PSF has already crossed into the 1003 to 1005 odd PSF ranges. Why is it that the 2nd to 9th floor are transacting at 1003 to 1005, but the level 1 and level 10, or the ground floor and the top floor, they are stuck at 1000 to 1001 odd PSF? Now it boils back down to transaction volume again. That in every project there's way lesser level 1 and way lesser top floor units as compared to all the units in the middle. So naturally speaking, there will be more buying and selling for the units right in the middle. And that again helps to beef up the valuation of the unit itself. We can see this also in a project that is in the core central region, freehold, and the level 7 is the penthouse units. Level 2 all the way to level 6 are the middle floor sort of unit types. And you can see again the top floor is currently hovering about the 1008 odd PSF, whereas those in the middle has already crossed into 2001 odd PSF. So likewise, it boils back down to transaction volume, because simply the ground floor and the top floor are rarer in supply. The transaction volume will naturally be lesser than those that is of a higher supply. So of course, we don't just look at the unit size, the unit layout, or the project size, but we also look at entry price. You might want to check out my video here where I share the checklist of how I analyze the entry price to determine whether or not it is safe.